I want to wrap up my Sergeant Pepper video series with a segment on dimensions and characters of Sergeant Pepper. What do I mean by that? Well, the human mind has several dimensions within it, and there's lots of different dimensions to perception, whether it's of characters, ideas, or events. As an example, you're watching me now on a video, but what if this turned out to be a video of a video? Just like an album about an album, or a story about a story. So you see there's different dimensions within dimensions, and that's kind of what Sergeant Pepper is. It's kind of like a fictional band being sung about by a real band. So let's talk about some of the characters and dimensions of Sergeant Pepper. There's the opening song, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, featuring the star character of the album, Sergeant Pepper, who apparently is very lonely, because they say that a lot in the song. Sergeant Pepper's lonely, Sergeant Pepper's lonely, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And the band is an extension of his lonely world. And that world goes back. It was 20 years ago today Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play. So we're talking about the dimension of time, going back in time to maybe the 1940s, since this album originally came out in 1967, so maybe we're talking 1947. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that's a different state of mind. That's like a psychedelic state of mind. Since Lucy in the Sky is the girl with kaleidoscope eyes, most people don't have kaleidoscope eyes, so that's a different dimension than the normal dimension of reality. Fixing a Hole is about just fixing things, and it's about silly people wonder why they can't get in my door. So the silly people are from another dimension, obviously. And he's talking about how I'm taking the time for a number of things that weren't important yesterday. When I'm wrong, I'm right. Where I belong, I'm right. That's a different dimension than reality. Getting better is a different dimension than the old world of, used to be bad in school and treating women bad, but now things are getting better. So that sounds like an improvement to an earlier dimension that was demented. Then Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. Oh, we're skipping too far ahead. She's Leaving Home is the next track, and that is about the characters of the mother and the father and their daughter who's leaving home to meet a man from the motor trade. So you got four characters right there, and she'd rather be with him, even though her parents have all the money and they gave her everything money could buy. Yet she wants to be with this guy who's not as wealthy, apparently, because they're having fun. They're having more fun. Maybe because it's fun in another dimension from the dimension of money. Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite is a very fun circus type song, and it's from the dimension of just a carnival atmosphere from over 100 years ago, because John Lennon was inspired by a poster of a flyer for a circus for the 1800s. Within You, Without You, we talked about that on earlier episodes of this Sergeant Pepper series, and that's totally another dimension. That's like behind, we were talking about the people who hide themselves behind a wall of illusion. Which side of the wall are you on? Do you believe the illusions that you see every day that you surround yourself with? And then outside of all those illusions is just the universe in which life goes on within you and without you. And then that's followed by When I'm 64, the dimension of age. So we're back to the dimension of time, except in the future instead of in the past. And it's talking about many years from now, when I'm 64. Will you still be sending me a Valentine, birthday greeting, bottle of wine? And of course, Those each have their own dimensions to them. Lovely Rita, that's an interesting song because that's about perceptions of what she looked like. You know, the bag across her shoulder made her look like a military man. So that's a perception within a song, within a perception within a character within the story. You see what I'm saying? How the characters and dimensions intertwine. That's followed by Good Morning, which is kind of a song about checking out the real world, being bored with it, but then eventually sliding into a different dimension in which, you know, after a while you start to smile, and then Sergeant Pepper Reprise, of course, and it's about we, the dimension of we, you know. We're sorry, but it's time to go. You know, we hope you have enjoyed the show. We'd love to take you home with us. So home is another dimension that we don't know what that place is. That's just another fantasy within the song. And then, of course, it culminates with A Day in the Life, which is full of multi-layered dimensions and characters. Like, we don't know who the character was who died in the car crash in the song. Maybe he was from the House of Lords, which is a completely different dimension than the normal world. So there you have it, the characters and dimensions of Sergeant Pepper.